Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Draft channel. In this video, we're going to look at Supercoach NRL Draft after round 4 of the 2025 season and going into round 5. Excuse me. So we'll kick off with the results from the draft league. So our redraft league first, where I thought it would come up with the league. It does not. So got a good win over Guns N' Roses, Shoab's team. Where's the fixture? Game day, sorry. I'll get there eventually. So that's already gone to round 5. Back to round 4. Excuse me, got something caught in my throat. So for my 907, obviously Tino scored pretty well, 77. Nwanga Nitawasi with a 71. Wong with the 62, so solid scores there. Harry Grant with the 70. Cam McInnes with 82 has been killing it. Nico Hines with the 60 was solid. But obviously, captaining Terrell May was the masterstroke there with his 92 getting doubled up. So good result there. And for Shoab, so Clonmatungi and Plath scoring well. Reynolds having a bit of a down week. Tarpany with 92 is good. Fogarty with 64, solid. Fanoa Blake with 78, that was quite good. And Captain Ola Kawati, 62, isn't the worst captaincy shout. But ended up a player short with Kinney out at fullback. Have a look through the league. Looks like Scrumbags, Katrina's team with a 930 this week. So Nafohu White and Zach Docker Clay, good pick up there with the 71. Jaden Campbell's solid. Staggs and Tamale scoring well in the centre wing. Captain Hero, so would have been on one if he didn't go down injured. So that's really unfortunate there. For Katrina, could have been even more. Obviously, comfortable win this week. But Presto with a 122. Haywood with a solid 61. Lehigh with a 89 is really good as well. Actually, before we get stuck into that, go through the results in the Dynasty Keeper League. So we'll go back to week 4. So in this one, Croaks 27, Josh's team got me by about 80 points in the end. Looks like the top score of the league too, so that's unfortunate for me. But I guess for my team, Isaiah Yo with the 60, Captain Payne Haas, pretty set and forget. Got Arthur's score, so who did I miss out on? Oh, Adam Dewey was laid out, so nice like-for-like replacement there. Paps 62, Horsburgh 65, lots of 60s. Cam McInnes features in both teams. But for Josh's team, he had Jenkins, so nice 69 points. Jacob Preston with a 122, so looks like Presto was the key to a big week this week. And Terrell May as captain, just to put the cherry on top there. Fantastic. And even had the likes of Tamale, Jai Gray on the bench. So pretty solid squad there, Josh. Well set up. So we can have a look at the players that are not so frequently owned. Let's filter them out. Excuse me again. So we'll go 50%. If I can get there. There we go. So Tamale still only owned in 28.6% of leagues. I think with the injury to Hopewadi, he is a must if you can get him in your leagues. Get on. It should be a solid 60 average for the season, would be my prediction. Excuse me. Even Sebastian Chris is in available in over 50% of leagues. Siwa Wong looks like he's got a pretty solid role there on the edge. So if he's available in your league, get on. Rob Toy's still available in a few. Marcelo Montoya could do worse. Just trying to see if there's anyone So I don't know what's happened there. Yongi's in, and been picked in over 50% of leagues. Not too sure about this filter suddenly. Um, guess we could try and go a little bit deeper, potentially. So what about 20% ownership? So this will be probably more so in the deeper leagues if you can get them. But there might be a couple of bargains. 21% won't hurt too much. So Docker Clay back to the bench. Jackson Purdue had a couple of good weeks, although against Penrith this week's a bit tough. But I mean, he looks like he's locked in. There was a little bit of concern after the first couple of weeks, but he has held his spot. Not sure on the timeline for Zach Laybart if he's in the reckoning or not, but maybe something to consider there. Blake Wilson might not have too much longer, unfortunately, for him. Kira's named in the extended reserve this week, so well done if you've managed to stash him on your bench. He'll become a very useful player. More likely after the bye, but it could be this week. Stafford Towers looked pretty good in his 3 games so far, so at 15% ownership should be available in most leagues. Jack Williams, no, he's out for a few more weeks, so that's fair. Just trying to see. There's obviously these guys are lowly owned for a reason in a lot of cases, but dig a little bit deeper because it is sorted by total points as well. Caltoga is an interesting one, I suppose. At 3% ownership, obviously hasn't lit it up. And actually, probably the one if you're looking for a hooker, Riley Smith, named to start this week. So if you're struggling in the hooker position, I think he could be a useful option. He's not going to, shoot the lights out, but they might stick with him long enough that he could, become a useful piece of your squad. Hubner, only 8.3% owned, named at lock. So I guess if you're looking for a second row, he could do worse. I should have just gone with players that are selected this week, I suppose. Unless you want to stash any of these injury guys that are popping up on the list. Lalo, I guess, should get a bit of an extended run on the wing. So not sure if he is. So he's PPM of 0.2, so that is probably from 80 minutes, which is pretty gross. Maybe avoid. Dave Clemmer. Guess now that he's got a starting gig, the PPM's good, the minutes not so much. Lemuelu, it's only 4.4% owned. Don't know on his lifespan though, given that Tommy Gilbert's only out for 1 week. But I guess if you're looking for a flyer this week, could be an option. And then I don't know if there's anyone else really playing this low. Lau Lee. Again, not sure how long Skeleton's out for, but you imagine he'd come back in if he was fit. Hiroti might have a little bit of runway, so I guess as a way of getting into the Sharks back line, not the worst. So he's available in 99% of leagues. And that might be about it. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. So in terms of my teams going into this week, just trying to see. I think I put in a waiver claim to get Bronson Cherry, so it looks like I got him, which is nice. Anyone else get let go? So yeah, that was for Arthur's. Well, I don't think the timeline for Kinney's good enough to want to stash him. Ethan Strange, if you're looking for a backup 5'8", he's pretty well cemented in that spot. And we saw last year can go big. So I don't think he's one that should have necessarily been thrown away so easily. But in saying that, I'm pretty comfortable with my squad as it is at the moment. as I said, sort of upgraded Arthur's to Cherry. So the back line there is looking pretty good. So I did bring that Butcher in, named to start at lock this week over Cotter. I think Butcher just will play a few more minutes. Cotter just seems to get the same sort of workload week on week, so we'll go for a little bit of upside there with Butcher. De Groot will have another look at, but hopefully starts to become the goods at centre wing there, and I've got to wait for a few injuries. And then VC and C, I think it's pretty obvious Cleary into Haas. Pretty sure that's what I'm doing in my main team as well, so we'll run with that. In the redraft league, so don't know if anything's too different there. So released this week. So Docker Clay dropped, going back to the bench. So Meany, I mean, he shouldn't be out too much longer. Might be worth a cheeky grab. For whom, I'm not too sure at the moment. Maybe Montoya goes out for Meany. If I can get him. Excuse me. Got too excited. Yeah, but I can't see too much different with this team. Nico Hines playing in the first game. Perfect sort of VC option into Terrell May. Hopefully stands up to Big Payne Haas, and sort of each way in our bets in the draft leagues. And yeah, so I guess that wraps it up for this video. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the draft content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.